And we're back. You see the title, you see the thumbnail. Thank you for joining me for another episode of I Said What I Said. I am your host, Mike Diamond. Today we got a crazy episode. It's accountability day, y'all. It's accountability day. Some of y'all ain't gonna like me after this. Your feelings is gonna be hurt, all right? I'm gonna be real with you, but words are important to me. And when I hear words come out of your mouths, men and women, I know what you really mean. I'm gonna be calling that out. But before we get to that, I gotta go ahead and put some spotlight here. What we smell is Gucci made to measure. Don't ask questions, just do it. She's gonna love it. And as always, for that beard, Black Diamond Beard Care Products, owned by yours truly. Now, before we get into the topics of the day, I do wanna point out a lot of attention that came from the last video, okay? Now, for those of you who haven't watched it, I'm gonna put a link in the description, but the last video was all about high value men and their perception of what cheating is and how bad it is for a marriage. And I basically wanted to call it out, all right? Mr. Kevin Samuels, again, I'm a big fan of his. He says that high value men are allowed to cheat, and it's not even called cheating, they're just exercising their options. And so, obviously I disagree with that. If you wanna be a playboy and live that life, I'm all about it, do that. But if you find a woman who you feel like is worth marrying and you put a ring on her finger, then pack it up. The cheating is out of the window if you decide to make her your wife, especially if she met you while you was broke, all right? You can't change it up later and say, well, don't blame me, I just got rich. And Kevin Samuels fans didn't like that. Y'all was mad. Like, I don't know if y'all was just mad or if you was mad, but you was mad. And I got called a simp, I don't know, once or twice. Not that many times. I got called a simp, I got called a beta male. People telling me I'm just a sellout for the woman. But here's the thing. A lot of Kevin Samuels' followers and a lot of red pillars in general, you guys feel like if there's anything said positively about a woman being said by a man, he's a simp, all right? That's not what a simp is. A simp is a man who limitlessly and without regard for his own health and care will give to a woman in fear of losing her or in fear of not getting sexual favor or time or whatever it is. That's what a simp is. A simp will give even if he's being disrespected. A simp will give when he's being ignored, right? I've heard stories of men literally being on what they thought was dates, and at the end of the date, the woman asking the guy to drop her off at another man's house, right? And in full transparency, that was me. That happened to me when I was like 19 years old. I had no idea, all right? So I'm not a simp. I'm not a beta. I never have to go through much to, prove that to anybody who knows me for real. But for everybody that calls me a simp, just understand I go home to this every night, all right? So nothing simple about me. With that being said, I want to talk about mindset today. And not mindset in a traditional sense, positive thoughts to get you what you want and things like that. There's a quote by Ralph Emerson, and Emerson says, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." And that's the truth. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future, like that kind of thing. How you perceive the world, whatever your filters are, determines what the world is gonna give you. You are getting what you show it, okay? So with that being said, that goes into your employment, that goes into the quality of men and women you feel like you deserve to date, that goes into the experiences that you have. Like, I can look at this bottle of cologne and see something that's, a beautiful part of my collection, and somebody else will see it as something that's out of touch or, belongs to somebody else, right? The funny thing is, as humans, our mouths are right under our nose, but we can't smell our own breath. But if somebody else walk in the room and they start talking and they ain't brush their teeth, you can smell it from 20 feet away. You ever notice that? You can smell somebody else's breath from 20 feet away, but we can't smell our own breath. Our minds are always telling us that we're right. We're always showing ourselves the best version of ourselves. And so what that leads to is we say things to defend our character. We say things to defend our position, and out loud it sounds really, really good. But when you break the sentences down and you peel back those words, you're not really saying what you mean. And so what I did was I came up with a couple of common phrases that I hear. Phrases that I hear men say, women say. I'm not gonna beat the men up too bad today, and I'm not gonna beat the women up. I don't want y'all to get too crazy in the comments. But tell me if this sounds familiar. If you talk to 100 women and ask them how they feel about men today, I think there's probably a 50-60% chance you'll hear one of them say, men ain't shit. Ain't no good men left. All the good men are gone. Now, when I listen to that, what I really hear is the men that I want, the men that I wish I could have, don't want me. They're not checking for me. They're not asking for my phone number. They're not offering to take me out on dates. But to make myself feel better, I'll just say that there's none out there. And I'm gonna tell you now, if you live in California, New York, or Miami, you lying to yourself, because that's where all the money men are, right? If you in Kentucky and there's only 2 people or 200 people in the population of your city, then okay, it's a possibility that all the good ones are married and you gotta settle for a dirt bag. But when you in cities that got 5, 6, 700,000 people on the low end, there's no such thing as there's no good men. All right. Another one I hear. This one comes from the men. All women are gold diggers. No, all women are not gold diggers. Now, there are some gold diggers, and I have met some of them. But if you have a daughter, one of the things you tell her when she's looking for men is make sure you find a good man that can take care of you, right? We say that to our daughters and our sisters all the time. But when women hold us to that standard, we call them gold diggers. Now, that's not all men that's saying that. The ones that's saying it are the ones that really mean, I can't afford to date. I wish I had the money to take a woman out like that and trick off a couple of dollars here and there. But if I gotta choose between a date or paying my rent or a date and my car payment, I'm always gonna choose my responsibilities. If you're smart. If you don't, you're a simp, right? You're a simp if you don't. Or even when I hear the guys say these dudes out here are simps, same thing. I wish I had the money to spend like that. I wish I could afford to give a woman everything she asks for. Because I said in my last video, when men get money, when men really figure out their purpose and they become successful, one of the first things that come to mind is, now that I have money, now that I have stability, let me find a woman. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like, that comes to mind for most men on a regular basis as soon as they get some money, right? So why make fun of the dude who's already figured out his way to make some money and he is now using that to take care of a woman? Because I even had somebody in the comments, no, actually it wasn't on YouTube, it was on TikTok. I had a guy on TikTok say, do you really believe your woman would stay with you if you lost all your money today? Well, first of all, I work really hard to make sure that I never have to find that out, all right? But the second thing is, you could use that for anything. Like, every man has different strengths that other men don't have to attract women. Do you think you would still have your girlfriend if you didn't have that 6-pack? Do you think your wife would have married you if you didn't have your degree? Like, we can go on and on and on, right? So don't make money seem like it's somehow making a woman's interest in you less. If a lot of times women ain't even really attracted to the money, they're attracted to the man who has the mentality to go out and make that level of money. She's attracted to the idea that if this business fails, he's already shown that he can build something and he can do it again. Ensuring security, which is exactly what we tell our daughters, our sisters, and our cousins all the time as men, right? Women. All men are dogs. All men are cheaters. I mean, am I the only one that's heard that? All men are cheaters. What I really hear is, I've been hurt before, and I'm really afraid to be that vulnerable again with somebody else, so I have to protect myself. When we speaking on these topics of generalities, you know, I hate the all police, well, like, not all people, but I have to say, not all men are cheaters, not all women are gold diggers, not all of anything, right? It really does depend on the person, but there are majorities and statistics that back up certain facts. And at the end of the day, we're in a position where we're using insults to hide the fact that we're just too afraid to do the right thing. We cast judgment on people outside of us because in our personal lives, we're afraid to do what it takes to be a good husband and a good wife. And I really believe that to be the truth. Any man that talks about simping, right? Like, I'm gonna give you an example. For Valentine's Day, I rented a big house for me and my girlfriend up in Hollywood, and I flew a chef down from Oregon, and the food was amazing. And it was such a big night that I figured, we should share this with somebody. So we invited another couple to come with us, and the night was beautiful. And when I posted the video of that occasion, I had men call me a simp because I chose to be romantic and show my woman that she was special and that she was worth all of that. Now, don't think that I'm sitting here as a man who's never been hurt by a woman. I have every excuse in the book to not trust women, to hate women, to not want to invest on that level to a woman. I have been hurt in ways that maybe one day we'll break all of that down and I'll share that with you. But dude, how do you expect to have a woman want to stay with you if you're not showing her you value her? Ladies, how do you expect to keep a man if you don't decide to give him the one thing that he's asking for, which is being nice? And I know I oversimplified that a little bit, but let's just be real. Everything that a woman asks a man for is transactional. It's something that he has to have a skill or an ability to earn money to give her. But everything a man is asking a woman for is absolutely free. Everything we ask a woman for is free. We're not asking you to change. We're not asking you to pay our bills. We're not asking you to, buy us anything. I want that new wallet. I want the new shoes. We're not asking for none of that. Some do. But most men really just want a woman that's peaceful, that's sweet, that's agreeable, easy to get along with. If you ask a man, would you rather date a uneducated, nice girl or an educated, unagreeable woman? I ain't gonna call her nothing else. An educated, unagreeable woman. Most men will probably say they'd rather take the uneducated, sweet girl. She doesn't have the potential to make more money than the educated woman. She's most likely not going to be a high earner. But life in the house is going to be so peaceful. We can't, as a black man, I'm not even worried about the oppression I'm dealing with in the street. I'm not worried about the cops pulling me over. I'm worried about the sister that's in my house. Is she making me feel big, or is she making me feel small? Is she making me feel appreciated, or is she making me feel like I'm being used? Right? And and the same thing goes on the other side for the ladies. You know what I mean? We want women to respect us. We want women to be loyal to us, but we don't want to hold ourselves accountable to the things that we're required to do to get that level of respect from a woman. Like I said before, there's things in relationships that are more important than love. I know divorced couples where the two people are still madly in love with each other, but love ain't enough. They can't make it work. They love each other. They see each other all the time, but they can't commit to each other on that way because they're missing the things that are more important than love. And for a man, that's respect. Men want to hear, baby, I appreciate you. Baby, I saw how hard you was working on that thing and you got it done. You told me that this would be accomplished and it got accomplished. Thank you for being a man that I can rely on. That'll hit a man's heart way harder than I love you. Right? And women want security. Security is more important than love. And I'm not just talking about financial security, guys. When I talk about security for a woman, I'm talking about the emotional security of feeling like you only have eyes for her. Feeling like she's the best that you ever had. Or even if she's not, the fact that you don't want anybody else. She wants the physical security, which is why, which I hate this point, but a lot of women will say they don't want a man that's too short. Even a woman that's 5 feet tall says she wants a 6 foot man. Like, why? Everybody taller than you, right? But she wants a big man because it makes her feel physically secure, right? And then obviously financially. She wants to know that bills can be paid, and if there's a problem, that he can take care of it. But instead of us owning up to that, we'd rather say things like he's a simp, he's a beta, or she's a gold digger, or all of the above. And it's got to stop. We have to stop being afraid of taking the traditional route of just being vulnerable with a person. I spoke to my grandmother yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we were talking about this topic. And she talked about how she and my grandfather's relationship was for the 40 years they were together. He passed away. And she spoke about him with such high regard. Such high regard. He met her after she already had 7 kids, still manned up. He was one of those guys that knew how to get money. He took care of business. He was a pillar in the house. He was strong, you know what I'm saying? Who I saw in my grandfather wasn't who my grandmother saw. My grandmother always talked about how gentle he was with her, how willing to listen he was with her, right? He made sure she never had to do anything hard. He always handled business, right? Like a man should. And I feel like on the inside, men still have those same traditional values. But we live in an age where a lot of women are exclaiming from the mountaintop that they just don't need a man no more. Women are saying, I'll split the bill because I don't want the risk of him feeling like I owe him something. Or, you know, this ain't the 50s, so I'm not cooking for you. You can ask for me to be rich, you can ask me to be tall, you can ask me to be funny, you can ask me to be all these different things. I can't ask you if you can cook. That don't make no sense, right? So, you know, I feel like we're not in the age of a bunch of effeminated men and masculine women, as much as we're in a world of people that are afraid to become another statistic. We have so much exposure to what happens outside of our lives through the social media. We can hear about the failed relationship in New York, the failed relationship in Georgia, the failed relationship in Alaska, the marriage and divorce rates in Asia. We can hear about all of these problems all around the world, and it makes us afraid. In the 50s, before people had access to that kind of information, all they cared about was themselves and the person they was in a relationship with. All they cared about was what they could see. And right now, we in everybody's business. And we're making other people's problems our problems. And we're painting a picture on our women that other people have experienced. We're painting our men in a way that other people are painting them. But let me tell you something, sisters. 55% of men out there getting married. And as far as black women go, only 1 in 4 of you are. So it's not that you're not marrying brothers, you're not marrying at all. We gotta question that. Why? Do these women just not want to be married? Leave that in the comment section, because I want to know what you think. Why do you think only 1 in 4 women are getting married today, specifically black women? Because I want to know. Because black men are still getting married at a high rate. And if they can't get it from sisters, they're going to get it from somewhere. But we can't believe the hype either with Hollywood, because we look at Hollywood and believe that brothers get money, become high value, and find white women. And that's just not the truth either. Because I don't have the statistic in front of me, but I believe it's something like 80% of black men are still marrying black women. Like, they want it. Like, we love our sisters. But again, you know, I told you I'm a big fan of Kevin Samuels' show. I watched the episode where the woman was saying she felt offended because men told her to smile. To smile? Like, that's the word you want to use? Offended? Because your man wants to see you happy? One of your own wants to see a smile on your face? I think what it means is we put a lot of weight and pressure on women to feel like they're independent. And that's mutated into being independent from a man. I feel like a woman feels empowered when she can say, I don't need a man. I asked it on TikTok before. When did codependency become such a bad thing? I want a woman and I want to need her, right? But I don't want to need her for the things that I'm supposed to provide as a man, right? So don't twist this. Don't make it sound like I'm saying I need her to help me with bills or I need her to make me feel safe. We're social creatures. But men don't want to say out loud, I need a woman for companionship. I need a woman for motivation. I think it's arguable that most men would say, my woman's validation is my motivation. Seeing her happy makes me want to work harder. I think any heterosexual man who cares about his reputation as a man will admit that. Nobody wants to say it out loud because they don't want to be called a simp. Women don't want to say, I need a man to help take care of me. They don't want to say it out loud because you don't want to be called less than independent or strong. But again, your strength as a woman is not measured in how well you can do what men can do. Your strength is measured in how well you can do the things that men can't do. Message. I don't need you to do me. I don't need you to be me. The woman is the neck, the man is the head. If we both trying to be a head, we're a headbutt. It just don't work, all right? We all got roles to play, and they're both important. A woman's soft touch matters so much to a man, especially our blue-collar men, the bricklayers and the steel masons and the mechanics. Those guys, when they come home, they don't want to have no challenges with their woman. They want somebody sweet and soft that smell good. That's going to be something positive for them. Now, this is not to say, women, that men want you to be fake and not have emotions and not have problems. We're human and we all have our feelings. But don't you think a man is more likely to want to give you their ear and give you their heart if they feel like you do the same for them? I say it all the time. Men are raised on how do we make women happy. Women are raised on what to expect from a man. And it's a selfish approach to relationships from the beginning, that women come in only thinking about what to expect, but not so much what do I provide to add value to his life. Women really do believe that being a woman automatically means you're going to be a good wife. Being a woman automatically means you're going to be a good mom. You have to be taught to be a good mom. You have to be taught to be a good wife. If you didn't have a mom in the home, then you got to be intentional about finding the information. Read the books. There's so many notable authors out there talking about what it means to be a good wife and a good husband. I didn't grow up with my dad. Everything I know about being a man, I learned in the Marine Corps. Everything I know about asserting myself, speaking what I mean, sizing myself up against other men, their competitive nature. I learned all of that in the Marine Corps. And my feminine attributes, as far as the emotional side of that, all of that stuff matured after I had daughters. I have 2 daughters. So I have to be soft for them. I can't walk around intimidating my babies, right? There's a YouTuber that I love. As a matter of fact, I suggest anybody go follow her. Her name is Six the Goddess. If you never heard of her, first of all, she's beautiful. She's 6 feet tall, chocolate sister, beautiful smile, oozes femininity. And she talks to women about the power in femininity, how easy it is to, I hate to say it, but manipulate a man just off your femininity, just off being soft and being precious, right? Cooking for him, making him feel like the man, how hard he'll go for you. If you think good sex is gonna keep a man happy, it'll keep him happy, but it won't keep him loyal. But if you make him on the inside feel like I got a woman that is completely satisfied with how I provide for her, that's a different kind of ball and chain right there. That's a different kind of ball and chain. I live for those moments. My girlfriend sent me a text message just the other day, after I filmed the last episode, and I showed her the trailers and everything. We were all celebrating about it and everything. And we were on the phone, and she didn't say it on the phone. She waited so she could text it so I could have a record of it, so I could refer back to it. Baby, I am so proud of you. You motivate me to do better in what I'm doing. I can't sit around all day the way I want to because I know you out there moving. That's such an important message that you're sending to the kids. She says things like that to me. If that make me a simp or a beta because I appreciate gratification and edification from my woman, paint me simp. Paint me beta. Because it feel good. All right? It feel good. It make me want to put her on my Instagram story. Like, it's when she do stuff like that, right away it make me want to buy something for her. Ladies, if you want Birkins, you want shoes, you want purses, gas your man up and cater to his ego, and watch how quick that card come out. That dude will be at home like, all right, man, look, I got $60. I can find something for $40 and still got $20 to put in my gas tank. But these are some real facts, man. We got to hold ourselves accountable here. If you scared, just say you scared. let's say you go on a couple of dates with somebody and you decide that you really like them, and you feel the respect, you feel the admiration, you feel all of that, and you want to reciprocate, but you're scared to. Imagine how much realer of a start your relationship would have if y'all had that conversation up front. I've been hurt in the past, and I am scared to give myself the way I want to. There's something about you that makes me want to come out of that shell, but I need you to understand that I do get nervous about it because I don't want to be hurt again. And imagine if your partner said, I have the same story, let's heal each other. For you church-going folks, why don't we take it to the altar? We can pray on it together. Like, teamwork is beautiful. Doing it with somebody else is beautiful. Life is much better when you have somebody to share it with. I've been getting money for a good little while now. And in the beginning, while I was still single, I would find myself still living like a bum, right? Like I wasn't going shopping because I wasn't dating. I didn't even care to really clean up much because nobody was coming over. Like all I was doing was working. I had a bank account full of money and I wasn't going anywhere, doing anything. As soon as I got a girlfriend, right? With her noticing that I did have a little bit of money, she never said, can you buy me this? Can you buy me that? Can you take me here? She said, you got to take better care of yourself. Let's go do some shopping for you. She was buying me shirts. This was after I took her to a $500 dinner. She knew I had money. She buying me shirts. Imagine how beautiful of a feeling it would be if the two parties, man and woman, were honest upfront about what they felt about going forward in a relationship. I challenge anybody to get into it. Now, I know the comments are gonna light up for all the reasons why you shouldn't open up. And the last time I did that, he cheated. The last time I did that, she used me. Save it. I would rather hear from the people who've been married for a couple of years, or the ones that's about to propose. Tell me how being a team player and being honest and choosing to be vulnerable helped you in your relationship. Because I'd like to know. And if you saw the comments from the last video, you'll see I'm very active with you guys, and I do like to have the dialogue back and forth. So I think I've said enough about this. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I do have a goal of 1,000 subscribers in the next 60 days, and I feel like we can do that. We're doing well so far. Again, get in those comments, interact with me. Let's build this channel. Let's build this society of level-minded people who don't hate each other, who don't hate women and don't hate men. It ain't so bad on this side. I'm Mike Diamond. I'll see you on the next one.
Damn right.